This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
The aftermath of every social revolution brings about change. Cultural norms and landmarks shift as our minds and hearts expand beyond the familiar. To everything, there is a season and a time to every purpose in the land of the living. This is our time to renew, revive, and restore the hope lost to the busyness of life. This is our time to dig again and rebuild from the storms of our past on a solid footing that holds. Welcome to The Foundation.
The Foundation.
The Foundation with Hearts Grant is brought to you by Alive, Baja Retreat and Spa, Balm for Bones, Burger King, Commonwealth Bank, ESC Distributors Limited, Grand Bahama News, Kelly's Home Center, the National Insurance Board, Ross Electric Motors, and Wendy's.
Foundation.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant in your company, The Foundation. It's a beautiful day. Grateful to be in your company. Rain last night, still dry out here. We're hoping for significant rain to come down and get our grass brown again and see these things revived out here. Guys, I'm hoping that you had a good weekend. I know that this morning was sort of a shaking up for a lot of persons with that murder that we actually saw. We continue to be able to pray for our nation, for the families that are involved, for the men that are making these decisions to be able to move in the right direction. I'm really, really hopeful that we can find a new course for growth and development in the country and start to be able to talk about, the exponential bounce back of where we are in comparison to where we were. So let's just be as decent as possible as we do those things and have good conversation. I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. Thank you for being able to show up and have a good conversation with us. I know that you are trying to figure out if we're going to be in election mode the entire time. I'm going to be as decent as possible and talk about national issues the best I can without being able to identify leadership. I think it's going to be difficult, but we're going to do our best. Before we get into anything, I got to shout out my good, decent people over at Baja Retreat. It's a Mom Day special packages. They got great packages, about 6 beautiful packages, all ranging from $200 to a grand, beautiful package of Mom's yearly wellness plan that goes only for about less than $100 a month. It's a wonderful thing you can be able to identify. They're doing these things. You could be able to check that out at Baja Retreat and Spa. They got some great packages, man. I got to tell you these particular things. You can get your aromatherapy body polish. You can get your express massage with hot stones. You can get Time for Mom. You can get Sincere Guarantee, right? Gratitude, you can be able to get those things. You can get Pamper Mom. You can get Mother's Delight. I'm going to get very excited about this. This Thursday this week, we're going to be down at Baja Retreat talking about these things, talking about these packages, talking about all these things. They want you to be able to go ahead and book your packages now. Do that. Purchase your packages with Baja Retreat at www.bajaretreat.com, bajaretreat.com. You can give them a call at 323-6711, 323-6711, 323-6715. You can be able to give them a call or hit them up on WhatsApp at 544-1855, 544-1855. They're located on East Bay Street, opposite Scotiabank, from Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. They got everything available for you. Now, these packages, like I said, they range from $200, a one-time package, to a yearly package. This is Mom Yearly Wellness for less than $100 a month. This is something that you want to do, that you want to be a part of, and this can be absolutely wonderful. Please give them a call at 323-6711, 323-6711. Got to give my people a shout out over at Da Vinci, man. They got everything laid out as it relates to you being able to present yourself professional. I got to do this. I got to be able to talk about them and how they present themselves in a professional manner. Go down there and check it out. Get your graphics done. Get your printing done. Take that idea that you have scribbled on a piece of paper, that quote-unquote Habakkuk 2 and 2 and bring it to life. DaVinciPrinting242.com, DaVinciPrinting242.com. They're located in the Village Road Shopping Plaza, right there on the intersection of Burnett Road, Wolf Road, Village Road, Soldier Road. Right there on the intersection on the northern side, you can be able to see them. Let them know that Howard sent you. You got everything laid out. It is a wonderful thing. Got to shout out my good, decent people again over at AFS Insurance Agents and Brokers. They got everything in store for you. If you're in the market for insurance and you're looking to be able to get your jet skis, your jitneys, your taxis, your leggies, your jet skis, whatever available in terms of insurance, they do in-house financing. 341-1-AFS, 341-1-AFS. They can take very good care of you. Ask for Ethric Bow. He can be able to assist you in that. And they are open on Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. You want to be able to check them out. Guys, it's a beautiful day. Pick up your Guardian newspaper. All the information's in there. Paris bound, and they got all the information. The Bahamas qualifies for the Olympics in the mixed relay. I think there was mixed reaction about some information that came up yesterday. We can talk about that little taste. And stage set for the F&M Showdown. Stage set for the F&M Showdown. All the information's in there. Minister wants to complete the agenda on former Deputy Prime Minister's back Pintard. This is absolutely peculiar. We got to talk about this today in the spirit of decency and in order. I got to introduce my good friend, Garth Roseborough. Garth, you got to say good afternoon to the people out there and let them know that you're sitting in the studio with us today.
Good day, Bahamas. Good day to the listening world. It's indeed a great day to read the Nassau Guardian, and it's a wonderful privilege to sit here at the table with none other than Howard Grant for the foundation. As you read the paper, you're going to notice there's a whole lot going on, so there's a whole lot to talk about. So I'm going to make my entry brief so that Howard can read the phone numbers to you, the telephone lines. I know they're going to be lit up today because, Howard, this was a lit-up weekend. I'm sure there's a whole lot to talk about, so thank you once again for having me here.
Well, I wanted to start the conversation like this. I have received almost 30 telephone calls and relentlessly defending a position for Dwayne Sands. Can I say that? Can we start it like this? This is too much.
You starting your business this early?
Yeah, well, this is our business. They know that.
It's our business.
They know I'm decent enough not to call any names. But I got tremendous telephone calls from a tremendous amount of people who have been able to speak about the fact that, Howard, why are you going against Dwayne like this? Why are you going at hard? I am baffled. And I'm doing everything I can because Friday we said that we would be a little bit indecent and leave it alone, and then hopefully everyone would have forgotten by Monday. We did say that, didn't we say that?
Yeah, I think we were decent.
I tried my hardest to be decent. I got calls all the way from Grand Bahama all weekend. I got calls all on Sunday. We went down to Jaws Beach yesterday. Got a couple calls on the beach. Yesterday felt like a holiday. It was Cinco de Mayo. A lot of persons was being able to celebrate a great deal of things. I know Coco Plum Bistro had a great deal of things going on. Shout out to Chantel and all those persons down there at Coco Plum Bistro. Chantel, I hope you guys did well. I know you wanted me to come. We're going to see if we can do something for Mother's Day. I'm excited about that, so we can set something up for you. But yesterday, the beach was lit. They got all the Mexican music, the Latin American music playing. Everyone was dancing on the beach. It felt like it's holiday yesterday. And it was hot. And so we went to the beach. But they wouldn't leave me alone. I got calls after calls talking about what's happening in the Free National Movement. And these are people I know personally. These are people in the council. These are voting members. These are people within the executive of the Free National Movement. These are advisors in the Free National Movement, all calling me and asking me, Howard, what's the position that happens with Sands and Johnson? And I couldn't understand this because many of these people, watch me be decent, many of these people took my position a few weeks back. Many of these people had the same posture and position as it relates to identifying a lackluster chairman. Many of these people who now say, Howard, let's put that aside and identify Sands as the chairman of the organization. And I'm asking why? Why? What has changed in less than 48 hours? What has changed? Or dare I ask, who has changed? Talk to me about it, Garth.
Well, I just thought, Howard, when I spoke to you, to look at variables. And I want us to carefully consider the variables as to why they would even want to give you a call, why they would want to, as it were, to convince you to share with others as to the rationale behind the leadership choice for the Free National Movement. They've said to us before, Howard, that it's not everyone's business, the Free National Movement's business, but when you want to become the government, it is everyone's business. So I thank you, Howard, for sharing that with us. So let's open the Pandora's box, and we will try to be as decent as possible. I said to you this morning, Howard, that if Dr. Dwayne Sands is not selected as the chairman of the Free National Movement, what would be his end? And I'm going to let you answer that because we spoke about that before, Howard, and I think you made it very clear, but I want you to reiterate that as I progress to my my argument this morning. I want to fight you this morning, Howard. I feel like I want to fight. Huh?
I realize that.
So if Dr. Sands is not elected as chairman, do we see a political future for Dr. Sands? And I think we said no. Did we not say no?
You know, Dr. Sands is a very learned man. He's a sharp man.
Yeah, we're not going to take anything away from his medical background and his efficiency and ability.
Man. He has, when he stepped down for the cabinet, he and I had a conversation on my show, Patio Politics. You can go check it out on YouTube. Just type it in, Patio Politics, Howard Grant, Dwayne Sands. You can be able to see it. And when you watch that show, you'd realize his posture, his demeanor, and everything has shifted. His tone, his language, his insight, his articulation, and his desire to be able to fight vigorously as a backbencher for the Free National Movement, the constitution of the organization, and ensuring that the government is right-sized and move in the direction. This was ignited after he left cabinet.
Listening.
Right? So I sat with him, and while we were talking, he said, well, you know, Howard, I've heard a lot of people take on a certain position, but when you're in cabinet, based upon the collective responsibility, that you are committed to being able to keep your thoughts, your words, posture, positions, ideas confined to the cabinet.
Westminster system.
This is Westminster system. This is a conversation that he and I had.
I got you. I'm listening.
This is the conversation that he and I had, right?
So far, so good.
And then he says, Howard, now that I step out in this position, everyone says to me, oh, your mouth loose now. You could say anything. You didn't say nothing when you was it. This is the conversation. Go look for the conversation.
That's correct.
This is what he said. He said, oh, Howard, they tell me your mouth loose now, and you'll say anything.
Okay, I'm with you so far.
So I listen to Dr. Sands, and I always know that because of his intellect, he's a smart man.
Okay.
He did not disagree with the fact that he had made some significant missteps when he was in the cabinet and stepping down from that particular position. He didn't disagree. He didn't fight nobody. He didn't fight those particular things. He take the L, he took it on the chin, and he kept moving.
Okay.
The same thing's happening now. After you have been revived in the organization and been afforded an opportunity, you were lackluster.
Why?
Somebody called me.
Why?
Decent people called
Why?
me. I don't know why.
There's no excuse as to why.
I don't know why. I can just tell you what has happened.
Based on the language of the leader, Mr. Michael Pintard, he is appearing to us by way of these articles to be a fair man.
Michael Pintard, over the course of the last 3 months, based upon information, they don't know who has called me, and I don't say who has called me. But they know that I got some information.
I know people.
So as I'm sitting here and I'm listening, I understand that Michael Pintard, less than 6 weeks ago, said to many persons who were vying for leadership as they started to murmur about this concept and idea of convention coming up, he said, every man for themselves and God for us all. Michael Pintard.
If that's the case, then we should have had a stronger deputy leader, and we should have had a stronger chairman. They should have been able to say what they wanted to say.
Watch me. Let's fix this.
Democracy, freedom of speech.
As time progressed from that 6 weeks juncture to now, some things have shifted. When I spoke and had significant conversations, you saw me when I sat down here with Travis, and Travis started indicating these particular things, and we started having very clear conversation with transparency. I got enough information from various persons that indicate that Michael didn't seek to identify a slate of candidates. Now, I know that the Free National Movement traditionally has identified people on a slate. I told you before, they call it a team, whether it's the A team or this team or that team. This is the politics.
In the unions, in the churches.
Michael sought to go contrary to that.
He sought that?
He sought to go contrary to that. He wanted to be able to show himself transparent, vulnerable enough to work with anyone in the organization and still find himself to the objective of growth and development for the organization, for the Constitution, so forth and so on. He started off on a very good foot. He started off with he said to everyone, all positions are open. If I got to fight, my God, you got to fight too.
So, okay, so if that's the case, then I ask you the question then, who decided to change that? Or did it change? Did it change? And if it changed, who decided that changed?
It's an influence that didn't happen within
influence. You call it an influence.
An influence.
You will call a name?
We will call a name as time progressed. let me be decent. Let me be decent. Watch me be decent and present myself with...
you call it an influence, you know?
It is an influence.
An influence is changing the culture that Michael Pintard is attempting to cultivate.
Yes. And that is why the influence was significantly rejected under former leadership. Now, people identified this as rude and stink and no manners and distant and so forth and so on when former leaders would take an identified position and said, this era of ruleship is done.
So you're talking about pit bull like type thing. You're talking pussycat. You're talking pit bull.
And so when former leadership took on this kind of a posture and position, the entire country didn't understand. None of us understood. We thought that this was a self-serving concept, not understanding that the puppet master has turned to a ventriloquist. My God, I just get deep. I need to calm down.
And this is the same influence you're speaking about.
The puppet master has turned to a ventriloquist.
And this is the
now,
influence.
You know what the difference between a puppet, the puppet and a ventriloquist is.
Yeah, but you calling this the influence.
It's the influence.
But the puppet got strings.
Okay, and what happened to
the... You only got to show the voice.
No, but where the hand is, where's the hand for the ventriloquist? That is the question I have for you.
But listen, Howard Grant. And all you just said to me, in Michael Pintard, the leader of the Free National Movement, the Honorable Minister, and looking at Dr. Minnis, and then you have Dr. Sands, and you got Ellsworth Johnson. And we have negated the name Shannon Dawn Cartwright, who's the deputy leader.
Shannon Dawn Cartwright has gone in unopposed.
How is that possible?
Because I told you that he's smarter than them. I told you this.
So out of five of these men, you tell me Shannon Dawn Cartwright is the smartest?
Excuse me, sir, do you remember me saying this to you?
No, I'm listening to you again.
Do you remember me saying to you that we don't give Shannon Dawn Cartwright enough identification for being able to remain neutral in all of this?
So neutral means just keep your mouth shut.
Neutral means unscathed.
Okay, so being unscathed, show me the strength of Shannon Dawn Cartwright other than St. Barnabas.
His strength exists
in leadership.
His strength exists because he already, given the fact that once life lasts, he's already in a position, everything's closed, on June 2nd. He has it.
He's done. Straight. He's done. Straight.
He's done. That's strength, sir. That after Minnis couldn't do it, Pintard couldn't do it, Sands couldn't do it, Ellsworth couldn't do it. He's the only one that went in unopposed.
Okay.
And I know at least two people.
I'm saying he went in unopposed.
Who sought to go after this position.
You know that?
I know that for a fact.
So were they also influenced? Was there also a ventriloquist at work?
There must have been.
There had to have been.
There must have been if they stepped back.
And this is all alleged. Or you think
the allegations? I'm telling you I know the information. And they know that I know the information. I'm not going to call anybody's name.
So
I'm going to be decent.
So we could shoot the sheriff, but we ain't shooting the deputy.
I told you. The issue is both the sheriff and the deputy are supposed to have been taken out. If you leave the deputy, you put yourself in a very strong position for the deputy to be able to find himself in leadership.
Okay, let me mix this up. I know the phone's going to light up in a minute. Let me give you another mix-up then. Could Shannon Dawn Cartwright work under Hubert Alexander Minnis and survive?
Shannon Dawn Cartwright could work under anyone. I told you this already. I told you this already. Shannon on Cartwright has remained neutral and always steadfast in his commitment for the Free National Movement and being able to support the party and moving forward. That is the difference between a statesman who understands an overarching objective with time to move to that and people who are zealous politicians. People who are zealous politicians, you got to take time, baby.
But listen, when we
got to relax.
When we got the news of no opposition to the deputy leadership, I only smiled and laughed. I said, my God.
I told you that.
The man has played both sides well.
I told you that.
He's a real salesman. That's my friend, my co-worker. He's a sharp young man. He's a big red machine, you know. He went to sack. Smart fellow.
He's a smart fellow to do that.
Yeah.
He's a smart fellow to do that. And I listen, I commend him. I told you this. Listen to me. I saw him, listen to me. Let's be clear. This man beat Cheryl Bazard for the PLP. Everyone was behind Cheryl. I just want to be decent.
Yeah, St. Barnabas.
Then they went and got another blue-eye, handsome fellow.
Michael Alkidas.
Michael Alkidas, which is also my very good friend. You understand?
But Shannon is a handsome fellow.
But I'm saying another. That's what I'm saying. So you're adding to it, right?
We like
so
Chinese.
Now, so if St. Barnabas like handsome fellas,
we like Chinese
who are.
We like Chinese.
If St. Barnabas like handsome fellas who are articulate and insightful, so forth and so on, they put another one on you who's also a PLP, and he did not succeed.
Shannon on Cartwright is a #1 sales representative in timeshare. I've worked with him. I know what he can do. And Shannon on Cartwright will sell sand to the Bahamas. He's good. He's good. Trust me, I worked with him. He is good. He is good. He knows his information. He knows where to place it. He knows when to close the deal. He knows what the dominant buying motives are. Shannon on Cartwright is a salesman extraordinaire.
Well,
as a leader of the Free National Movement, I simply just never got any oomph from him. But as you're now saying, it wasn't necessary to give an oomph.
No.
That's amazing to me.
Let me tell you why.
So this is the type of leadership.
6 weeks ago, we were content with a very clear idea without being able to put our finger on it or articulate it. No one opened their mouth to say it. But the leader was both leader and chairman for at least 18 months.
Okay.
The leader of the Free National Movement was both leader and chairman for 18 months. More than 60% of the time that you saw Dr. Dwayne Sands, he sat in a reclined position and reporters came to him. That has been the tenure of his position. Now, all of a sudden, I need Dwayne Sands. What has happened?
Oh, I know why they need him, but I'm going to say this to you now, Howard. In terms of no oomph in leadership, is this the type of leadership we need going forward that has an eye on the objective, as you have said, and allow things like the Haitian Bahamian All-Star team and language such as this to enter into our country and cause confusion, man? Because you see, what we're now suffering from in the Bahamas is that politicians are not clearly stating to us why this type of language is being used, what is with the integration subject matter, what is with the migration situation, and we need a government that is just more informative.
You think the FNM will take on that?
Well, if you don't have any oomph in leadership, if you're not saying anything strong,
do you forget that the FNM for Haitians?
Man, I just saying
you forget the FNM
see, for me, leadership got to have some. Leadership got to have some testicular fortitude, man. Leadership got to have some strength. Leadership got to have some bone. Leadership got to have some fire. See, if I can vote for you, and if I'm going to support you, I want you to be strong, man. I need to know exactly what you believe in. And the one thing, like our former great host would have said, Darrell Miller, we want to see your wife, we want to see your family, we want to know who you are, we want to know the fabric of who you are, we need to see your strengths, man. You just can't show up and say, because I'm a member of parliament, because I'm the deputy leader, because I'm the leader of the party, that you should vote for me. What you talking about? We're not going to do any automatic politician talk around here, man. You got to wait for what you want, eh?
Well, let's talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, let me take my first commercial break, get out of here, and come back. We are talking about the nation's position. I am perplexed. I'm a little peeved.
You got me.
Because I don't understand why the relentless conversations from people who already indicated to me that they agreed with what I said. Many of them, listen to me, from Friday I talked to people, they said, Howard, I'm not getting into that, no conversation like that with you. I support Dwayne Sands for chairman. I gone, bye. Quick commercial break, be right back after this.
Are you ready for the best of the best? Keep the Vibe Alive Music Group, Alpha Sound Promotion, and Guardian Radio presents the best of the best Rake and Script Explosion Concert. Mark your calendars for May 11th as Super Club Breezes grounds ignite with Bahamian talent featuring KB, Gino D, Funky D, Veronica Bishop, The Brylanders, Avi, Elon Moxie, and Shine 242.
Right now I feel like whining.
Join the Falcons, Iron Store, Sylvie Pierre, Johnny Cake, Mama D, Nishi LS, Pat Ramis, Stevie S, and Shad Colley and the VIPs for an electrifying night of music and culture. Tickets are flying, so grab yours now. Available online at BahamaZTickets.com or swing by the Beauty Shack on Soldier Road and Carmichael Road. This is the event of the year. The best of the best Rake and Scrape Explosion at Breezes Resorts. Gates open at 6 p.m. Don't miss out on the Bahamian magic.
It's Spa Week, we got what you need. Sit back, relax, and come in for a treat. We just wanna make you smile. We will go the extra mile at Baja Retreat Spa.
Come visit us at Baja Retreat Spa on East Bay Street. Contact us at 323-6711 or visit us online at www.baharetreat.com.
Here's to the go-getters, the early risers, and the late-night dreamers. You, the visionaries, painting futures in your mind, in your studio, your office, your sacred space. Here's to the adventurers, explorers of every realm. To you, the innovators, turning the cogs of progress. In a world where connection is a lifeline, a pathway to possibilities. Alive is the perfect connection for everyone, every lifestyle, every day.
Visit BeAlive.com today.
Mothers are the heart of our homes, the soul of our memories, and the guiding light through life's journeys. Show your love with a gift from Kelly's House and Home's Mother's Day sale, Friday, May 3rd through Saturday, May 11th. Enjoy 20% off selected dinnerware, glassware, luggage, silk flowers, and picture frames, except on net items. One lucky person can win a gift basket for Mother's Day. Visit our Facebook page for more information. Kelly's House and Home's Mother's Day sale, May 3rd through 11th. Happy Mother's Day, all with love from Kelly's House and Home.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Foundation. Foundation.
Ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio, Howard Grant in your company, the foundation. I get in fight even on the break.
Yeah, we can't get no coffee on the break.
I get in fight on the break.
Your coffee hot or cold?
I ain't get no coffee yet.
They waking you.
I got to. That's okay. We can dive into it. Guys, the lines are wide open. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Anywhere from the family of islands, 242-300-5720. Hit me up, 422-4796. I'm expecting some calls today.
Answer them.
Let's take a telephone call. Caller on the line. Go ahead. Go ahead, caller. You're on the line with us live. Next call. Caller on the line with us live. Go ahead. Caller on the line with us live. Go ahead.
Hello.
Hi. How you doing?
Hey, Howard.
Hey.
And God. Hey, I'm doing good. But
That's
listen, I hear you big up Mr. Cartwright and all of this. Well, Mr. Cartwright going to have to do some good selling in St. Barnabas this year. This election time. Because, listen, I lived through the corner where Mr. Cartwright headquarters was until he moved it on Market Street.
That's West End. That's West End. What street that was? West End or something?
No, that's Oxford Avenue.
Oxford, okay.
We haven't seen Mr. Cartwright since he won the election. We haven't heard from him. We haven't seen him. He don't be to his office. I asked the secretary. She say, he's busy because he's the chairman. Mm-hmm. But listen, the people of St. Barnabas didn't re-elected him, not to serve the F&M, but to serve the people of St. Barnabas. Mm-hmm. We can't find him. I called Mr. Cartwright. Mr. Cartwright said he wasn't call me back. He ain't called back yet. He ain't text me back. He have to do a lot of selling here. I got on the pulpit and all the radio station. I said Mr. Cartwright was the best MP since sliced bread. But now, since he in government, according to his secretary.
Now you're trying to pull back on your words?
No, I was wrong. I was wrong. I mean, I thought he was different, but now he look like he turned to be like the rest of them.
Well, he got to be doing something right. He's a fellow going in unopposed.
Yeah, but he where? Gone where?
So what you're saying, what I'm listening to, is that it's possible for you to be surely the deputy leader of the Free National Movement, but you could still lose your seat.
Well, I mean, being the people of St. Barnabas didn't.
Is that what you're saying?
Elect him to be no deputy. That's his party thing.
Well, I appreciate
what he's as deputy chairman. He is serving the people, the FNM. He's not serving us. He's not representing the constituency of St. Barnabas.
Well, I
that
know
has
one
nothing
thing.
to do with us.
I know one thing. He's got.
So he need to get his priorities straight.
Okay.
You know, he was elected by the people of St. Barnabas for the constituency of St. Barnabas. That's who he needs to make his priorities.
Okay, brother. I appreciate that. There's a couple of things that I want to be able to do within the body politics in the country with my show. Not necessarily with your mind, not with your mouth, not with your posture and position, but with my show. Mm-hmm. I need to quantify what you're saying. You need to qualify what you're talking about. Is this a historic concept, an idea that he didn't show up simply because he didn't show up, that I want to see it? Not necessarily that he's putting things down, not that he's creating programs, not that he's ensuring that everything is done, not that the management of the space is going accordingly. Is this the traditional idea of the politician of yesteryear, that you just merely need him to come in your house and sit down and drink out of a can? Is that what you... I don't understand this. We need to quantify these things. Just for me, for Howard Grant. When we talk, I just need to quantify and give me the pros and cons, because there got to be a pro in there also. Give me a layout of why these men are qualified, capable, or they're inept. Just for the purposes of conversation, because it sounds like a lot of the rhythm of yesteryear with no forward movement into the future. As Shannon Cartwright has presented, my God, I sound like a campaigner for the man. He's presented himself to be neutral. St. Barnabas has given Shannon Cartwright a pension. Stop it. St. Barnabas has given Shannon Cartwright a pension without him jumping from one party to another. Even when he did not have the reins of leadership under his belt, he won the position. Stop it. I don't expect everybody to vote for him. But you cannot deny that the man has retained a position. And if, from what we're seeing, for the contentious posture that exists in this organization right now in the Free National Movement, for him to go unopposed in the trifecta of leadership, it got to speak to his capability beyond Dr. Minnis or Pintard, beyond Ellsworth or Sands. Let's be very clear. This is not, let's shower him with confetti days, but let's not deny what is absolutely evident. Let's talk. Let me take the next telephone call. Call on the line with this live. Go ahead.
Brother Grant.
Hey.
I hope you're doing well.
I'm good, Professor. What's happening with you?
God Roxborough, I hope you're doing well, too.
My Professor, I can't see you. You know where I live.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll be getting in touch with you. I was talking to Dwayne Halley the other day about you.
Yeah.
But let me get to my point. I heard what Brother Grant said about certain personalities. It would appear to me as if they're following a particular individual or individuals. There doesn't seem to be any hardcore constitutional principles that people are following. This is why we keep picking needles without eyes. For example, when it comes to choosing a party personality, that's one thing. When it comes to choosing a parliamentary representative, that's another thing.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately for us, for 50 years and 9 months,
they're all one and the same.
Pardon?
They're all one and the same.
No, they're not. Constitutionally, no, sir. You're dead wrong on that.
No, I'm saying to you, unfortunately, we as a nation have identified them as all one and the same when we choose parliamentary representation and political representation.
Okay. Now that you cleared it up, yes, you're 100% correct.
Okay.
That is the mistake we continue to have made for 50 years and 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
We have not seen the difference. The point is you need people with hardcore constitutional, I'm talking about the Bahamas Constitution, not them other things that people have, where there are set guidelines as to how you ought to run a country, the qualities you need in a representative, rather than just looking at a person because they have a particular shirt on their back or particular pants on their bottom, and you go along with that. Or some words that they may have said, or some words from another particular grouping that told you that's the one for you. The Bahamian people have not yet understood Article 24.1 of your Constitution, which gives the Bahamian electorate the power to protect their interests. We've not done that in 50 years and 9 months. That's our weak spot. We keep looking at a political organization to choose a particular personality, to send that particular personality into a given constituency, and we fall for that. The Constitution gives you much, much more than that to choose from. And that's the mistake we have been making. That's why we have all of these national problems. You see the games that were held in the Bahamas?
Yeah.
And how do people say how nice it is here? The games are over now. The national problems are still there, Grant. The constituency problems are still there. Some of those people who came here wish they could stay in the Bahamas. But the Bahamian people themselves are grounded in those long-time constituency problems and national problems that have never been solved, even though these two particular entities have been given the authority to govern the country. And I said before, they have a track record. Mr. Minnis has a track record. Mr. Sands has a track record. Mr. Ellsworth has a track record. And all of those who are vying for office have a track record. We are not looking at the track record, one, when they're in opposition, two, when they're in government.
I love it. I love it.
That's what we need to start doing, examining the hardcore evidence of who they really are, and stop talking foolishness and nonsense on the airwaves every single day. I listen to the shows, and it tells me how uneducated our people are when it comes to national issues and choosing the right person to send to the House of Assembly to deal with our national business.
I like what you're saying. Thank you. Thank you, man, Professor.
Mercy.
Very much. Okay,
I appreciate
all right.
you. Thank you so very kindly. Guys, the lines are wide open. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Anywhere from the Family Violence, 242-300-5720. Hit me up, 422-4796. The issue that I have in being able to do this, because I wrestle with this, right? Not like Jacob, but I definitely wrestle with this. I didn't scream out, I'm not going to let you go until you bless me. Because, then people can think, you're looking for something out. I ain't looking for nothing.
You ain't looking?
I ain't looking for nothing. I just want to have a very clear conversation. I want to let you know the heart of where the matter is for me.
Okay.
The Free National Movement is an organization that has been in turmoil significantly since the inception of Dr. Hubert Minnis. From he uttered the words, the Hubert Ingram era, the Ingram era is over. From he made those utterances that created a proverbial separation within the party. He's become mosaic in the party, right? Creating a separation, right? And the one side is the Minnisites and the other side is the Ingramites, right? And you identify these things, and because of the lines being drawn in the organization, it has led to a significant unrest. Now, on one side is the financial contributors of the organization, those persons who you could get the money from, who have affiliation with those particular persons on the Eastern Roads and so forth and so on. Everybody knows the story, right? And then the other side is those persons who've been disenfranchised for a long time. Now, what Minnis, in my view, initially perceived to do is really empower those persons who were disenfranchised and talk about the base that was the Free National Movement. Talk about the tent that existed in the Free National Movement. And as a result of being able to do that, Minnis himself lost his way. He became, and I think that this is one of the issues with a great deal of men, if you don't have strong men around you. If you find yourself insulated by yes men, this fever of power, it takes you over.
That happens in all politics in the Bahamas.
In all politics in the Bahamas, it definitely happens. But I'm saying to you is that to avoid that and to ensure that you could be able to mitigate against that, you have to insulate yourself with strong men.
They're not going to do it.
But you have to.
The nomination process doesn't allow that.
Nominations are open to everyone, sir.
It's supposed to be open to everyone, but you yourself said that when you saw the former Prime Minister walk in the room and present Pakeisha Parker.
Yes, because no one in the room, they left their huevos outside. And that's all it is. They left their guts on the outside when the perceived alpha male walked in. The political alpha male walked in.
This is Bahamian politics. That's what I'm
No,
saying
because
to you.
they did it to me. And I stood still. I stood strong.
When you look at most of your members of parliament, do you consider them strong men and women or just consider them yes
Not
men
now.
and yes women?
Not now.
Okay, so that is the culture of politics in the Bahamas.
Not now.
Now, if you go into a party
And
as a
that's-
strong man,
watch me.
you're going to be removed. You
Watch
cannot
me.
walk with them.
But this is where we're getting back to.
Who?
We've always identified Michael Pintard as a strong man.
A talented man.
I've always identified
No.
him as a man of conviction and strength. I've always seen him as, I know him. I've always identified him in the same light that I speak of Ellsworth Johnson, I speak of Michael Pintard.
Michael Pintard is talented and he has a voice. He can
And
speak.
he is convicted and determined. That is, he's
stubborn.
always presented.
He's stubborn.
See, I say convicted, you say stubborn.
I say stubborn.
Tomato, tomato.
Tomato, tomato. Well, we can make some Kong salad with that.
Now let's talk
Let's
about
mix
this.
it up.
His conviction and strength, determination has led him to a position, whether you would like to agree with it or not, to the helm, the top of leadership. And he made utterances in the organization that we will reinstate real democracy in the party.
I respect that.
Then all of a sudden,
I respect
something
that.
happened.
I respect that. I respect, and because that which you perceive to have been strong isn't strong at all. That's what I'm trying to say to you a long time. Boss, you can't make tin into iron. Listen to me. The Howard Grant that I have learned to appreciate and respect, you cannot be bought or sold. That's a foundation. That is a fabric that can come only from a spiritual strength. People like you and I do not bend. We walk straight. If I am wrong, Garth Maynard Roseborough is going to say to you, I apologize, I am wrong. And guess what? I'm also prepared to deal with my consequences. Most of our politicians are only in for the benefit and not into the consequences. Michael Pintard, I tell you, I respect the man. He has become the leader. But let me tell you something. A Pintard leadership and a Howard Grant leadership is two different conversations. Yes or no?
Yeah, but Howard Grant ain't even in this race.
No. That's what I'm saying to you. Take the name Howard Grant out then. And let's look at Michael Pintard as a leader and put a Garth Roseborough there then. Because I always in the race. You know when I'm in the race? When general election time comes, I am in the race. And that's what people need to understand. Don't come calling my house on the weekend talking about, oh, they talking about Haitian, Bahamian, all-star team, how we get to this, how we get in all this confusion. Because when you had the opportunity, like, as Professor just said, to be in the race, to choose the strong people, you did not do it.
But they don't want strength.
And then you get what you get. And the consequences fall on you. Do not cry to me.
They need you to be pliable, malleable. They need you to be able to bend.
And that's why your pants dropping off your backside, walking on the street, big grown man, pants dropping down. Huh? With bear in your hand, first thing in the morning, wouldn't go get a job. This is what we want for society.
We
want pliable men and pliable women. That's what we want.
We got to be able to fix this. I just want to have a very clear conversation about the fact that, see,
leadership.
I love the fact that
leadership.
We believe that the dust will be settled between leadership, which is Dr. and Michael Pintard. We love the fact that we're seeing this.
Strength.
But for me, that's not where the question comes in.
We need strength.
The question comes in with Dr. Dwayne Sands and Ellsworth Johnson.
Who's the stronger man in that case?
That ain't the question that I have.
That's the question I have.
You know the question that I have? Why are you all fighting to be able to have one man going uncontested?
Because there's a need.
Let's take a quick commercial break, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to be right back after news.
The foundation. The foundation. The foundation. 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 The foundation. The foundation.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Hear what Boss Man was saying in the back there just now?
About what? The luncheon?
Why you always worried about food? No, about how we gotta pay a little more for national insurance.
Mildred, you talking fool. I can't afford to pay that.
And you always crying, poor mouth. Ain't gonna be much. Boss still gotta pay. 1st of July, 2024.
I think that criminal benefit is what did help my boy Tony through the pandemic. That same unemployment benefit. And guess what?
What?
Susan, I think she'd get a pregnancy benefit, eh?
You mean maternity benefit, eh? So now, we gotta do our part to make sure we get our pension. All right.
For more information, visit nipratencrease.com.
Great news! Ron's Electric Motors' new location on Cowpen Road, right next to Island Luck, is open Saturdays and Sundays. So for those needing repairs on electric motors, generators, welding machines, water pumps, battery chargers, electric lifts, transformers, and power tools, Ron's Cowpen Road location can have you up and running on weekends. Don't forget, you can still visit Ron's Electric Motors on Wolf Road and Claridge Road, and now Ron's new location on Cowpen Road. Dial 356-0249 or 323-5267.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation. The foundation. Foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM Radio, Howard Grant, in your company, the Foundation. We're here live and in full effect. The lines are wide open. If you want to be able to join in the conversation, I'd love you to do so. Today, I'm joined by none other than my very good friend, Garth Roseborough, in the studio with me, just talking about some things. I got a text. This is Howard, every day you're talking about politics. I got a container with 5 packs. I don't even know what this means. I got a container at the hospital with 5 packs right now that can be filled. And you talking about politics. I really do. I would love to know what you're talking about. Text me and give me some more information about those particular things. And let's be able to get to that. It says, Howard, I got 2 thoughts for you today. One, has the Bahamas Embassy issued warnings that the Bahamian students in American universities over Israel protests? We should, because the U.S. issues warning to the Bahamas for everything. And then my second thought is this. How embarrassing is it for Minnis that Brent Simonette had to publicly tell him to stand down and let the young generation take over and lead the country? Minnis doesn't know what the word succession means. Well, let's just be very clear. I want to be very clear. And I'm kind of scrambling in my mind to give you a scenario of perceived leadership at the forefront and the real leadership that exists behind the cloak, like the Wizard of Oz. I just want to be decent with that. As I say that. You understand?
You can give us his name?
As I be decent with that.
You're still trying to be decent.
I think I have to. I mean, I'm a very young man, and I still know the kind of vicious nature of how things exist in this particular. And then also, I got to be able to keep the confidence of the persons that reach out to me. Yeah. And so I don't even give you the details, but I let you know in so much to know that the Free National Movement is not the organization that we would like it to be. Nor is the PLP, but the Free National Movement for sure. Every time it comes to a conversation about leadership, just as we get to the cusp, just as we get to the edge, there is always an element that to get you over the top, you need this particular thing, this particular person, this influence can be able to assist you in that manner. I really thought, can I be honest with you? Honest to God, in my heart of hearts, I thought Michael Pintard represented separation from that mindset and the empowerment of the talent that existed in the organization. Honest to God, I thought that. I can be honest with you. Somebody texted me just now. I want to read the text, right? They said, Mr. Grant, I was with you all along until you said Michael Pintard was a strong man. He sat down in Minutes government and watched everything he did and said and didn't say a word. Frederick McAlpine is far more strong than him. Strength makes you speak out in the face of wrong, and his mouth was pinned. I disagree with this. I did say that Pintard was convicted. He was a convicted man. His strength lied in his conviction for him to stand on what he believed. Now, the question I have is whether or not his belief system has shifted over the course of the past 6 weeks.
Let me say this, Howard. And I could almost empathize with Michael Pintard, the leader of the Free National Movement, because it's a very heavy responsibility to lead such an organization, knowing what Bahamian politics actually is. The expense necessary to have an effective political party in this country is astronomical. I am not certain that the Free National Movement has shown any financial security moving towards the next general election. I'm almost certain, as I assume, and I use the word assume, that financial strength was not there. You see, there's something about a man, I'm going to say this as myself being a male, a man, a real man. When my pocket is full of money and I've paid all my bills, boy, listen, you can't tell me nothing. Ain't nothing you could tell Garth Minot Roseboro. But when you're broke and things are rough, man, you start to feel a little stress across your eyebrow, a little headache, you need a little Panadol or a Aleve or a little Anderson to try to get that headache away. Some fellas go find a bottle, some fellas find a smoke. You know, you find yourself just losing it all. That's weakness. A strong man, Howard, whether he has money or whether he is broke, it's the same strong man. Whether I got money today or I don't have money today, I'm the same strong man. I think there's a fear factor going forward that if I do not have the financial wherewithal, where do I get it now? The paper showed us some photos of some people in the background, and the people know what I'm talking about, man. The DPMs, they said they're going to support Michael Pintard, and you know, the DPMs, they ain't no broke fellas like us.
But this is a peculiar setup for me.
So if
Can I say this?
If the DPMs say we're looking for a particular team to go forward, what you're talking about, Howard Grant, we need these fellas' strengths. We need them to come on board, because if they come on board, and don't act like they did not strengthen the former Prime Minister Hubert Ingram. They also strengthened him too. People, whether it's alleged or supposed, it don't matter. We believe that Hubert Ingram was also strengthened by these very same people. Even though he was stronger before, they made him stronger. And these are the type men.
Not today, Garth.
These are the type men that make you feel very, very strong. Now, when you talk about Philip Brave Davis and Chester Cooper, you know you got to bring some stuff to the table, man.
Okay,
because
God, let me
we're talking about strength. We ain't talking about weakness. And so if you don't have that in your pocket as a leader, I'm telling you, the stress level, the gray hair that comes out on your skin, my God, you need some help. And if help comes, you just won't give in to the help.
I am almost certain that there were calls going around this morning. Nobody called me and tell me, but I know. I could feel it in my spirit.
What your spirit said?
That there were calls going around this morning, and I believe, I can't tell you that it's an accurate thing. I will find out, and I'm sure he'll come here and be able to explain to us if he cares to say this.
Who?
I believe that there are many people in the council who presented themselves for strategic leadership, not necessarily on this ticket of Michael Pintard, that has taken on this posture and position and got a call to say, hey, listen, why don't you step down? We'll take care of you. I believe that. I believe on one of those strongest calls that have come through and gone through, I believe might have been to Ellsworth Johnson. You know why?
That?
I believe that. I believe that with every fiber in me. You know why? And I got a lot of fiber. You know why? Because 75% of the time that former cabinet minister and minister of health and member of parliament for Elizabeth has gone to an election, 75% of the time he has lost. There can be no trusting that he will be victorious in a stead or a state of leadership at the polls. We can't trust that he's going to win at the polls. You don't even have a 50% chance. Ellsworth has a 50% chance.
Oh, are you being mischievous?
This is only statistical data and information accessible to everyone in the country. Now, if you didn't analyze it and crunch the numbers the way that I did, don't fight me. Statistical data and analyzation, if we identify these things, Ellsworth is a viable candidate just by going to election. That's one. If you need Dr. Dwayne Sands, first thing you have to do is identify a quote-unquote safe seat for him from a political standpoint if you want him to be a member of parliament. Because we've seen Brent Simonet in this particular capacity, the safe seat in Nassau for the Free National Movement, if you're outside of Kalani, and St. Barnabas most recently,
St. Anne's.
It's St. Anne's.
And then Freetown.
It's St. Anne's. No, Freetown.
Freetown was the safe seat. Only Wayne Monroe break the trend in Freetown.
So tell me this. Say this to me then. If the Shaw seat in Nassau
is St. Anne's.
It's St. Anne's.
For sure.
Why don't you bother an agreement to ensure that you can get Sands in there? Brent Simonet.
Well, you see, we looking at another seat, but we ain't going to talk about that yet.
Well, it can't be Long Island because I've already gotten information that he was handsomely rejected. This is the information that I've received. Someone called me and tell me, Howard, you're going contrary. Howard, that's inaccurate information. Howard, that's wrong. Lines are wide open. Let me take a telephone call. Caller, go ahead.
Grant.
Hey, what's up, my
I almost called you Sanchez now. God, I want you to help me with this, please. Y'all can help me a minute. Name me two things that the deputy leader of the F&M did from the last election to nomination last week. For him to go in unopposed.
He still,
I don't understand that.
He's still on the staff of immigration and say, Pintard, you're right about Keith Bell's situation. I remember that one.
Yeah, I mean, how he could have gone in such a high position unopposed.
Yeah.
That lost me.
Don't get lost.
No, it lost me because now I'm baffled now. You said something that made some sense, Howard Grant. They're going to try and buy out Ellsworth Johnson, which I think will be hard.
Ellsworth is a man of conviction.
But
the same way. The same way. Watch me.
But it's a no win for conviction, you know.
When Hubert Ingram, when Michael Pintard wanted to present himself passionate and desirous of being able to identify an opportunity in the Free National Movement, and they couldn't give him any opportunities elsewhere where he could convince people, they sent him to Cat Island. They sent him to Cat
but what I'm saying
Island.
That's
the you know who I equate that to? I equate that to him getting sent out like Uriah.
Yeah,
in the heat of the battle to die.
But that's what's going to happen. What the heck you think going to happen?
To die.
If you don't bow, what do you think going to happen to you?
Don't forget that he came back in the fold and he went back in Grand Bahama and won. Handsomely, and won good too.
Yeah, but that was
what I'm saying.
He could have won the first time.
Tell me why Dr. Dwayne Sands had a good chance to be the number 2 man in the party. Why didn't he go up against Shannon Don?
Listen to me. Let's be very clear about this.
Shannon Don got another post, and nobody can name nothing. I asked a couple people this morning over the breakfast table, name something that he has done.
I want you to hear me.
He was there
Shannon Don has
secure
done
such a seat.
Everything.
He buttered his bread on both sides. Boss.
My lines are lit right up. Don't fight me. I appreciate your telephone call. Thank you so much for that. Right. I want to be very clear with you. Right. I tell him the lines lit up. Okay. Good. Shannon Don has done everything that is required of him in his particular capacity. That is required of him from leadership in his capacity. He showed up when he needed to show up. He lent support. He created concepts and ideas. I hear Michael Pintar talking about he has coined certain phrases. He's assisted in terms of writing and so forth and so on and going forward. Remember, these 2 men had to be the chairman.
Mm-hmm.
Man, y'all stop playing with me. All I want to do is present you a concept and an idea and unravel to you that democracy is dead in the Free National Movement. That's all I want to do. All I seek to do is roll this out on the table by providing you information after information to say to you that we've had this steadfast position. This was the conviction and the position of the organization, and it has shifted over the course of the last 6 weeks.
It has shifted.
Why?
It has shifted.
Why? We were looking for a robust opportunity to identify a good mix of people putting their names forward, putting their passions forward, their ideas forward. We heard the Free National Movement indicate that there were 3 people who were vying for leadership. That the 2 people who did everything with formality, and there was 1 person out of Long Island who writes something else on the paper where they ask you for the position that you want. He wrote something else, and they had to reject that paper.
Okay, Howard. Before I go to the airport, let me say this then. Let me say this, Howard. I'm watching the trend on the streets of our island. I've not been to many family islands since. But the discussion that I'm hearing is that people are disgruntled with the present government of the Bahamas, which is the Progressive Liberal Party. There's a turning away very strongly from the Progressive Liberal Party.
Why?
And seeking for an alternative.
Why?
I just want to say before I go to the airport. The alternative that we would anticipate would naturally be the Free National Movement. However, there's a high discomfort level with the shenanigans of the Free National Movement. The people do not feel the confidence that we can trust this Free National Movement.
But this will be settled in June 1st. This will be settled.
Yeah, to change the course that we're now on since 2017.
This will be settled.
You see, people are looking from 2017 now forward. And so, if June 1st this will be settled, we're now discussing what type of leadership can this Free National Movement present to us so that we can now be confident enough to say you are now preparing to defeat a Progressive Liberal Party in the next general election?
That's a stronger question. Let me take a telephone call before you go. Call on the line with this live. Go ahead.
Hey, Howard.
Hey, what's up, Anton?
Good afternoon, Howard.
Hey, what you say?
That's how the people that call you, Howard.
We know what you're talking about.
Hey, good afternoon, God.
Yes, sir.
How y'all doing?
Good.
All is well, man.
All right, good afternoon to the nation.
Go quickly, Anton. I got to run to the airport. I want to have a conversation. Put it in 1 minute for me. Let me get a piece of this.
Let me go quickly. Something key that y'all have been missing out on the conversation, going back to the texter that sent the message suggesting that former Prime Minister Minnis should be ashamed that even his, or even a former Deputy Prime Minister is asking him to step down, right? And you all took off with the conversation from there and talking about funding and who would finance campaigns, et cetera, et cetera. What is missing from that entire dialogue? If anyone listened to what former Deputy Prime Minister and Cabinet Minister Brent Simonet said, while he stated that he seconded the nomination for Michael Pintar, right? And he expressed openly that he supports his leadership. But if you listen to the interview, he further stated he is an F&M, and whoever wins, he will support them. Okay? That is the equalizing factor. That is the X factor in the entire conversation. And so that simply means that he is prepared to bring forth whatever support he can bring to the F&M, period. Whether under a Pentad leadership or whether under a Menace leadership. Although he has spoken out and openly for Pentad. And so with that factor in consideration, that changes the entire conversation that you all have been having. And so there's not the concern of who the money in the F&M will follow and support. Because the money in the F&M, we all know, is Brent Simonet, right? The major financial influence in the F&M, we all know, the single largest financial influence in the F&M, we all know, is Brent Simonet.
But these are allegations.
That's allegations.
We don't know. We don't know that.
Yeah.
We don't know that because there are many names that have been called, but we know financially that
he has the capability.
He may be the most well endowed financially within the organization.
Yeah, he has the capability.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
And knowing politics, money goes where money lies. Money is a club. As you
So
all should know.
you trying to say Ellsworth ain't got no money?
It's a club. I'm not suggesting about Ellsworth. I can't speak to his financial circumstances.
Should he need money?
Right?
Should he need money to be
I don't
chairman?
know that he needs money to run his campaign, but or an extensive amount of money to run his campaign. But I'm thinking about more in line the national campaign for general elections. I'm not just thinking on a smaller level of party politics, right? Because that's minimal, and in the bigger picture and bigger consideration of a national general election. And so we already see the stage being set. And so it goes back to the conversation we had last week, either Thursday or Friday. I don't remember right now. Maybe even Wednesday. Well, at the end of the day, some people have been lied to. Some people have looked opposition leader Pentad in the face and told him the truth or lied to him. Or some people have looked former Prime Minister Menace in the face and told him the truth and or lied to him. But because party politics is so close in dynamics, unlike a national general election where you can hide until that time, you can't do that at a national general convention.
So you lie to everybody until the day comes.
Because the party politics is too close and it's too much at stake and too much on the line.
Well, somebody's been lied to.
For those who are looking to line their side and who has bad-mindedness or ulterior motives as their agenda, they're not going to come out front and stand up for who appears to be the underdog.
Wow.
You would find that out on the 1st of June.
After everything comes. All right.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, my brother. I do appreciate that. I want to say this to you, though, because guess why? After 1 week of all this information coming to the forefront indicating that, okay, next week is going to be the week that we nominate. It's going to be from Monday to 5 o'clock on Friday. You got to be able to come out in the light and say your position. He had that information for 7 days. Dr. Menace had 7 days to make a determination as to whether or not he put his name forward. Now, if he's astute as everyone indicates that he is, that he should have been making his calls. And all he had to do was so you had to now take your numbers. Hey, listen, I want to know if I could get your support. Boom, boom, boom. Menace, yeah. Boom. So you got to put that one in one column, right? Hey, how you doing? This Menace. I just want to know if you said, boy, if you don't get off my phone, okay, I ain't got that one. Boom. So you have to now count the cost of your position.
Is that puppet mastery or is that being
No. Menace's position to know whether or not he should put his name forward by Friday, which was last week Friday. He had to identify where his support was. So if he put his name forward, then he know he got support.
Yes.
Now the question I have is if the people lie to him, because they can't be the same people who said that Michael Pentad enjoys 80% of the council. But if Michael Pentad enjoys 80% of the council, what y'all tell Menace put his name forward for?
Well,
we're gonna see on June 1st.
Menace tell them don't show up for the nomination. Just stay where you is. This ain't the time yet. So according to the numbers at the headquarters, that's why his numbers was lower. That's what he said.
Well, let me take this quick commercial break, ladies and gentlemen, and be right back after this.
The foundation. The foundation.
It's Spa Week, we got what you need. Sit back, relax, and come in for a treat. We just wanna make you smile. We will go the extra mile at Baja Retreat Spa.
Come visit us at Baja Retreat Spa on East Bay Street. Contact us at 323-6711 or visit us online at www.baharetreat.com.
Start your day off with a mouth-watering deal available only at Wendy's. Introducing our new weekday breakfast deal that gives you a choice between 3 delicious items for just $3. You heard right. Monday through Thursday mornings, you get a choice between our Bakery Bliss Croissant, Breakfast Baconator, or a 3-piece pancake meal, each only $3. Stop by your nearest Wendy's today. Better mornings always start at Wendy's.
World Hand Hygiene Day is celebrated each year on May 5th and focuses on the importance of hand hygiene in healthcare. Washing your hands properly is the most effective way to prevent the spread of germs that cause diseases. Healthcare workers, be sure to have hand hygiene supplies available at every point of care and clean your hands before and after care. Wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 to 30 seconds. Hand hygiene is not just for healthcare workers, it's for everyone. Make having clean hands your habit. Save lives. Clean your hands. This message brought to you by the Infection Prevention and Control Unit of the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Foundation. Foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant in your company, the foundation. I just want to be decent as possible today. I really got to do away with this. Let me tell you something. I'm sick and tired of men that are cowardice, man. I'm tired, man. I'm tired of men that purport and propose themselves and present themselves as strong and capable, articulate, insightful, passionate and forceful to be able to see the country move in a particular direction, and then they turn catgut. They turn the other cheek. They're afraid to fight, man. Fight, man, for Jesus' sake, fight.
Howard,
fight for what you believe in.
No. When you look at any of the people in Parliament today or anyone aspiring for Parliament today,
that ain't worrying about this man. That ain't what I worrying about.
I'm asking you to show me the track. Professor just said, show me the track record before they fight.
I don't care about that.
So you tell me
Michael
they don't
Pintard, in his particular capacity, represent a different dispensation of leadership in the Free National Movement in the event that he's victorious. Michael Pintard's youth, articulation, and creativity, even with all the poems and poetry, and him showing himself as a fighter, going all as Uriah down in Cat Island in the heat of the battle and being able to preserve him life, still to be able to give to politics today, shows me that he's a fighter. I will not change my position about Michael Pintard. I believe that he's a man that is convicted in his position. But the information that I'm receiving right now is showing me that people have become pretzels. They are being molded and shaped and formed into a fashion contrary to the conviction that they've shown us. Not Michael Pintard specifically, but there is some faction behind the organization that continues to be able to pull the strings. How can you talk about a new dispensation of the Free National Movement with old tendencies, old guards, old mindsets, and not even giving space to youth in this particular mindset? No one wants to fight. Why?
Howard, you cannot fight in the Bahamas unless you got something in your pocket. I keep telling you this.
That ain't how fighters go.
This how politics goes.
This is not the country we come from. We used to fight with nothing in our hand and pick up rock as we go.
No,
we would fight with nothing in our hand and pick up glass bottle as we go.
You talking about pre?
Why you need something in your pocket today?
You talking about pre-1967?
This is the spirit of the Bahamas.
No. That
this
used to be.
This is the spirit of resilience.
Used to be. Talk about yesterday.
I'm tired of this foolishness.
You cannot
man.
be tired. You just
That's
gone
why
here.
I don't want nothing to do with
You
these
just
politics.
born yesterday. What you worrying about?
Day before yesterday.
You
I was
born to
here.
fight, you know. That's what you here for.
I like what you said.
Yeah, you
I
just
agree
reach.
with you. I'm not going to fight.
You know how long we've been fighting before you reach?
I'm not going to fight. I'm not
Howard
going to fight.
Grant, listen. The problem we have in our country is that we're just blindsided with colors. We like gold, we like red, we like green, we like purple, we like black. This is what the people are saying to you, man. It's just about a color. As Professor saying, there's nothing to talk about the Constitution. There's nothing to talk about the way forward. There's nothing to talk about progression. Michael Pintard spoke a good talk when he spoke about moving the country forward. See, Adam would call from Grandma and say, listen here, man, we got something in store for you. We're going to give to you. His speech is nothing different for me than the empty promises of politicians of yesterday. The preachers that tell you, oh, you go to heaven one day, but you bring your tithe and bring your offering and come to church. Make sure you leave that here before you go. And the pastor himself ain't even sure if he going to heaven. A lot of them ain't going to make it, Howard. The Bible says plenty of them ain't going to make it, them preachers. So what I'm saying to you now is that if you continue to listen to politicians' promises and not the actual works of these people, how could you call them strong, Howard? How could you look at Michael Pell and say, oh, he's a strong man, when the test now comes and they're bending like a pretzel, like you just said? I saw the pretzel coming, man. I'm no prophet. I'm not a saint, but I could see these things coming. When you're looking for a real strong man, look at him when he's broke and look at him when he has money. And if he's the same man, then you got a strong man.
You see, in 1976, I had an opportunity to be able to talk to Hubert Ingram about this text. He and I text. And I
spoke to
talked
Ingram?
Yeah, of course.
You spoke to the influence?
Yeah, I spoke with Ingram.
The ventriloquist?
You know why? You're trying to be indecent. I'm just trying to be as decent as possible.
But I mean, I just asked if it's the same place.
So let's talk about this.
You call a name,
In 1976.
Jesus, boy can run.
Right? In 1976. Mr. Ingram, I was asking him about...
76?
In 1976.
Where
I was
you
asking Mr. Ingram about this position of when Sean McQueenie entered the organization.
1976?
In 76, right? I think it was 76.
No, it can't be 76.
Yeah.
1976, Howard, I was only, 7 years old?
All right. Your 7-year-old self, this is the information I've received. Now, in the PLP organization, there was a gentleman by the name of Buller, right? Buller had retained the position for a very long time. He was in a vice chair position, and he wanted to kind of ascend to the chairmanship. They've already made commitment that they would support him, so forth and so on. And Hubert Ingram, in that particular capacity, said that I would support you, blah, 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 blah. So they had a good camaraderie, good friendship, right? Lyndon Pindon introduced to the fold a new person, a new name, a new concept to the organization, and asked that people would support him in this capacity as chairman in the 70s, in the late 70s, right? Hubert Ingram had already pledged his support to Buller and wasn't going to turn catgut and be a turncoat by being able to lend his support to Sean McQueenie in this particular capacity. And so he took on the position to fight. This is where I get now. That's all I get now.
Fight.
He took on his position to fight. The pharaoh of the time, the political pharaoh, that he was a political god at the time, Lyndon Pindon.
Yes, you're listening.
He took on the position to fight the god politically of the organization and say, we're going with Buller. Both he and Perry Christie did that. Subsequently, as time drew on, they separated from the organization, fired from the organization.
Listening.
Ingram already amassed enough political collateral because he was able to take down the proverbial Goliath. He already amassed all the treasure chests. And so they were identified as leadership, and he stepped into his leadership role in the FNM because of the collateral of what he did, the fight that he had. The point that I'm making to you is that the only time that men are identified for their character, their capability, is when they fight for what they believe in.
Howard, what?
Politicians over the course of the last 2 decades have become yes men. 3 decades have become yes men.
We don't remember them. We don't remember
those. None of their names make a difference. You have to remind us why we have an estate funeral for these people. You have to remind us why we have an estate funeral for these people. We don't even know them.
Yeah, we don't even know them.
You say, okay. Then we got to go read up on who these men were because their names are not etched in the annals of history in our hearts. Maybe in these books, but not in our hearts because they lack fight.
So guess what? If Ellsworth Johnson...
Who gonna fight?
If Ellsworth Johnson fights, what is the benefit of Ellsworth Johnson being the chairman while Michael Pintard sits as the leader? Shannon Cartwright, as you know, is positioning himself for future leadership. There's no doubt about that. That's why he stayed neutral. I like Ellsworth Johnson. I really do. But if he does not back down, what is the benefit
that will
or
not
consequence?
Diminish his political collateral. Hubert Ingram didn't ask this question when they presented Sean McQueenie. Hubert Ingram didn't ask the question, what's going to become of Hubert Ingram? He recognized one thing. He was collecting the gold coins of political collateral. And once you collect those coins, you could spend it where you want. You got it. And guess what? He has such a surplus now, he's spending it now. My God, the man been on the politics for years and still got purses and purses of political collateral. Distributing it and being able to do all as he please, and no one is willing to stand and fight. Let me take a telephone call before you get on here. Caller, go ahead.
I just had a quick question for you, and I don't know why we're spending so much energy on something that should not be on the radio or even pass as a message. Because if you have a team that is Haitian Bahamian, what flag would they be using? What color would they be wearing? What national anthem would they be singing? Okay? Really, honestly, only countries compete. The other thing I'd like to piggyback off, because that has been, there are people getting upset for nonsense. The Minister of Labor and Social Services, I believe, has taken the step forward, I guess, because the Ministry of Education may not have responded or is not fixing. But to come to the point, she's talking about the need to train Bahamians in life skills, all right? And that's basically lacking. So my question to her is, who is she talking about? When she says Bahamians, who is she referring to? Because if I look around, all the people working on the Chinese food store, at Atlantis, at Bahama, at Super Values, they're all working and their life skills seems to be fine. Who is she talking about?
I like your telephone call, you know. Let me tell you why.
All right, then.
I appreciate your telephone call.
Well, you're
so
welcome.
Much. I can do an entire show on this, and I can bring statistical data and information and compare ourselves to countries that doesn't necessarily have the same socioeconomic boom that we've had over the past 50 years, right? But I want to take our country, and I want to contrast it to Barbados. I want to take our country, and I want to contrast it to Bermuda. I want to identify those things, and then I want to look at illegal migrants in their country.
Bermuda still under the...
We have grown exponentially almost by 300% in our country over the past 5 decades.
Economically?
No, it's just
population?
Just population. We have grown exponentially over the past 5 decades.
But it ain't us, though.
And countries who were similar in size, didn't have these sparse lands, did not multiply at the same magnitude.
There's a reason for that.
The reason is illegal migration.
No, we know the reason why there is a migration. We only migrate to where it's better.
But no, beyond what's better.
It's an opportunity.
The fact of the matter is I have to get to some place with this. The core of my argument is, despite accessibility, proximity, so forth and so on, geographical location, we have grown exponentially in our country as a result of illegal migration. Now we're finding ourselves in this position, and we realize something, that we keep calling everybody, all these Bahamians, we're Bahamians, so forth and so on, but that is almost impossible for us to be able to grow so fast over that course of time if you compare it to other spaces, and no one wants to acknowledge the fact that when they say it's more us than y'all, no one wants to acknowledge that. That ain't a conversation to have.
Let me tell you how serious this is, and I'm going to look forward to that show when you have it, Howard Grant. And I also enjoyed that call in as well. we have to be careful how we even discuss this matter now, because I got a call this morning at the house, and very shortly I'll say this. It is now a fact that many of us now have migrants as a part of our family tree, right now as we speak. We have a brother, a sister, a auntie, a cousin, even your ma, your pa. They got children, offspring with these migrant individuals. And so, like you, Howard, family is everything. And so when you speak about the Bahamas now and who is family, they have now integrated themselves as a part of our family. The mere fact that many of our schools are overran by migrants.
And no leadership can deal with this.
Leadership has failed to deal with it because we, the Bahamian people...
So if current leadership has failed to deal with it, when we have a conversation about future leadership and our desire to identify conviction and strength,
yes,
now we got to come full circle with this. That's all I'm saying.
This is why I act the way I act.
This is why we in the F&M business.
Howard, listen to me.
Will Michael Pintard in this particular capacity have the gonads to be able to stand up and say, these are Bahamians, this is what we stand for, this is how we're going to execute these particular things, this is our expectation.
That's strength.
That's all I want to know.
But Howard, this is why I woke up this morning and I got a call this morning. I said to my good friend, Mr. Roll, I said, listen to me, sir. I've reached a point today where I don't care if you do not like me anymore. You don't have to like me. You don't even have to want to be my friend. You don't have to be a neighbor to me. You don't have to give me a job, an opportunity. You don't have to give me a nomination. You don't have to give me a doggone thing right now to be me. Because guess what? I am standing on what I believe to be right. And when you find people who can stand for the right, though the heavens fall, then you got some real people. But the problem with our society is that we continue to look for weak people because we ourselves want to esteem ourselves to be greater than they are. But you could never be greater than me, Howard Grant, if you don't want to wake up in the morning and put your hand to work and put your brain to work and want this country to be a better country. This is why I sit on the foundation with you. Because I believe that, guess what? We still have a small army, maybe 300 of us.
That's it.
But this 300, we could take down thousands.
Let's take him down.
So Ellsworth Johnson, before I head west,
let's fight.
Let the police escort take me to the west side of the island now. I got to get there quick. Ellsworth, you got my support. You got my love, my brother. Continue to be strong, but we need more strong people to stand up for what is right and move this country forward.
I'm not going to fight him. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you. I know you got to run. Let me take a telephone call. Call on the line. Go ahead.
Hey, Howard.
Hey, what you say, my brother?
I'm glad you take this call before God go. God, you ain't going to go. That person can hop in the taxi, man.
Boy, you wasn't going to escort me to the airport. Go ahead.
Yeah, but then, like you say, you talked to me this morning, you wanted me to get it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, let me hear what you got to say.
Yeah, well, Mr. Angerson talking foolishness, man. What do you mean? Shannon Cartwright been in there on a post and everything. You forget Shannon Cartwright survived that tsunami, That tsunami from the PLP. As much as the people that hate Menace, they returned Shannon Dog. They put him back. And said Barnabas, and he run against no small fry. Michael Alcides, a former MP, former member of Parliament.
Yeah. These was in Fries. Hold on, watch me.
Finance minister.
They was in Fries. They was two baked potato. He run against two of them.
That's what they trying to say. Well, what do you mean? Shannon Cartwright is a better man.
Potato.
And what happened? Shannon Cartwright represents the new leader, the young leaders, the new leadership, new young leadership. And man Pintard, done from the old school and all them. So Dr. Miller's, I hope you see who Brent Seminary back. So that means that's big, boy. That's big for Pintard, boy. To have Brent Seminary backing him, boy. That's to tell you where the money going. Who the money, what team the money going again.
Yeah, but if Brent Simonet indicates that he'll support anyone who sits in the position of leadership, whether that be Michael Pintard, whether that be Dr. Minnis, then why show up? Why show up to indicate that there's bias?
See, you know why he show up? Because him showing up to influence the voting on June 1st.
So be straightforward. Be straightforward. I only supporting Michael Pintard. Don't ask me for nothing if Minnis win. Just be shoot straight with us.
Right, yeah, say that. Yeah. You're right. That's the idea. That's the idea, Howard.
You can't come on one side and then try to be politically correct after you didn't show support.
Right. Yeah. You're right.
This my man.
Minnis win.
And if Minnis win, don't look for me.
No T-shirt, nothing. Y'all on your own.
Okay,
we shot it up. We got us, the David Nordku, the Moscows, all of the former Bay Street boys, Eastern Road boys. They're all them behind Pintard. That's what Brent Simmons is trying to tell you.
Boy.
Well, I like it. I appreciate your telephone call,
my
brother.
Yeah, man. God,
thank you so much.
Man, your uncle before he end up running out on you.
All right. Let me take a next telephone call. Call on the line. Go ahead. Go ahead, caller.
Hello.
Hey.
How you all doing?
I'm good.
I mean, how are you all doing, man?
All is well.
Good?
Yeah, man.
I think, Pintard is in a position, prime position for how the Yemen people thinks right now in terms of choosing leadership. If they're not satisfied, you can give somebody else a chance. I don't care how the public view that. Oh, he mightn't be ready, or he mightn't have it, or this and that. History goes to show that if we potentially switch, we can switch for someone new and give them a shot. And he's sitting in the prime position. That's why I feel everybody is trying to say, hey man, let me see if I can get a leadership bid, or let me see, let me put my name forward because they see a potential chance. I think he determines whether or not he will ruin that chance, or he, gathers it and take it forward and prepare to be the next prime minister of this country. But
the watch is still on the wall, though. The watchers and the juggernauts are still at the gate of the city.
You know what I tell. I know what I tell somebody. I told somebody the other day. Back in the day, and you're a media guy. You can't really tell how much people are listening to the show right now.
No.
You have no analytics to tell how much people are listening to the show right now.
Mm-hmm. I could guess the
F&M party. The F&M party. This is the new way. You could post a news story of when Pintard showed up for nomination day and when Minnis showed up for nomination day. And if the F&M party goes on that social media, and you can take the analytics of how people are speaking and how people feel. Back in the day, you have to say my ears to the ground.
Yeah.
You can actually feel and take data, real life data.
Yeah.
Boy, man ain't popular. This man ain't popular. So yeah, he might be popular not to this grouping of y'all who decide that you can send him back there. But real time data say don't send them man back. Please, if you all look, if you all sit on another 5 years, don't send them man back.
So that who's that Minnis? Don't send Minnis back. That's what you said.
Don't send Minnis back this way. The public. Okay. I mean, if anybody going on that social media or that you
but see this what I like. I like this conversation. I appreciate your telephone call. I thank you so much. Right. I want to say this. I believe that both Minnis and Pintard did their numbers. From Pintard sat with us and indicated that he doesn't see the PLP going beyond September 17th, and indicated that the Free National Movement would have a convention before that, and so forth and so on. I knew that he was making calls. I knew that he was touching people. I knew that he was traveling and identifying his support in various. I got these calls from people in the family of violence to say that Pintard was here and he spoke to the constituency office here. He spoke to these particular people. He's identified his people in the family of violence. He knows where his support is. Pintard knows his support is, both locally in Nassau and throughout the family of violence. He knows where his support is. So he said, you know what? Let's go. Bam. Let's go. We can shut it all down in one day. Let's go. He gave Minnis 7 days to answer whether or not she can go. Minnis, being astute in his particular position and also former leader and former prime minister of the country, he too would have to be able to save himself the embarrassment of being able to get washed out on June 1st. So Minnis had to make his calls the same way. And after he's already identified those things, made those calls, and decided to be able to show up at 11 o'clock on Friday to nominate, it says to me that he wouldn't nominate if only 18 people. I wouldn't nominate if only 18. Howard votes. I've grown to mature and understand that, all right, God then speak to me. This one ain't for you. I'm talking about my God now, not the God of these political organizations. This one ain't for you. And then I'm going to have to make a determination whether or not I want to show up. But the numbers will not lie to me. I got 18 votes. 18 votes. I got 300 votes against Nico Grant and my cousin Beatty Russell in Grand Bahama. And the only thing I could say, if I had more time, I could do this. If I had more, but I didn't have any more time. you have to make a determination as to whether or not you're going to show up. Minnis decided that he's going to show up and put his name forward. He will be embarrassed if he loses. Sorely embarrassed, because it would solidify that he didn't even get an opportunity like Perry Christie to get a second goal. Now, Minnis don't even have to put his name forward. Michael Pintard could go in absolutely uncontested, and Minnis could still find a way to be able to get to the leadership of the organization before the next general election. He can. The better has done it, and I don't believe the wherewithal, and that's sort of an age. Age comes with experience, comes patience. He doesn't have just being able to sit in this kind of a posture and be leader of the organization, but not leader in the House of Assembly. There's many ways that you can do this. We saw all of this play out with Minnis. So my point to you is, if going forward, he have to know something that we don't know. But I do know that, far as I'm concerned, 80% supports Michael Pintard. But we will see on June 1st. Next telephone call before we get out of here.
Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon. How you doing, brother?
How you doing, Howard?
What you say?
Are your guest still here?
No, he gone. He had to go rush to the
Let's say, right? Minnis from Michael Pintard won. He ever feel like he was still on the same side? No. Minutes ago, how was the one branch meeting? Minnis fought Pintard from. I think he watched too much TV. He think he is Donald Trump, and the fake news stopped saying it was too much TV, because it is over for him. But I guess he's gonna try to get back this on power. But if politics is full of if not, if Brave to come, I mean, if Brad to come back to the FNL after Papa gone, he'd have been in leadership. What if Penland did leave when Adriana say, Penland, let's go, the fans want us going, Papa would still be a PLB. That would never win. But what if? Adriana said, Penland, let's go. We're from 67 to 87, let's go. Ricky want us gone. Their power, knowing Nicholas Brady at Life Key every month having big council meeting. Nicholas Brady, he was secretary. The U.S. ambassador fly the U.S. government area. I mean, she's a Fed. She ain't speaking to Penland. And hand right on the wall, the Feds, CIA, they would.
This is a lot of social speculation and allegation. You can spill that on the radio, not on our show. Please, let's be decent. Let us be decent as we have these conversations. Let me take the next one before we get it there. Caller, go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Hey, what you say, my brother?
Everything cool. I just want to tell you, I send you what's up message on 817 number. Look at it.
Let me look at it. You just sent it? You want me to read that? Oh, Jesus, you didn't. Okay, I ain't gonna fight you. You done gone. All right, let me look at these particular things, right? Yeah, because a lot of persons are taking it. Let me take the last telephone call before we get here. Caller on the line with us live, go ahead.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing? Caller on the line, go ahead.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm good, man. What's happening?
Yeah, everything good. So, I just want to say this, right? Especially with Michael Pintard and Hubert Minnis. I think the appeal that Michael Pintard is getting from some of the party's leads is based on his economic model, which on face value, it sounds good. You know, where you have this laissez-faire capitalism and de-government regulation. And I look at it because we have to remember that Michael Pintard came from a more socialist background. But laissez-faire capitalism, one of the problems I have with it is that does it give every player, especially our citizens, an opportunity? Because it's still based on who have the capital. And we know historically we have been disenfranchised as far as capital, finances, etc. So I don't think it'll give new players opportunity to get in. And then we look at it from that point of view is whether or not we would have this trickle-down effect, right? Now, on the opposite side, I'll be honest with you. I don't know Hubert Minnis' political philosophy, his economic philosophy, his whether he's socialist, whether he's capitalist. He's just a guy with my bad attitude and kind of pompous, and they gave him a chance. And when he said he wanted to come back, is because he didn't get to finish stuff he wanted to do. Now, I would like to say this to Mr. Pintard. It's us and them, and that came from Mr. Pintard's mode. I'm not too sure with this economic model, if it's for us or it's for them. And if he hears this, he'll know what I mean about us and them.
This is heavy what you're saying, my brother. This is heavy. I say this is heavy what you're saying. I want to thank you so very kindly. Your time is gone. I got to let you go. I thank you so very kindly for that. Please give me a call tomorrow as we continue to talk about national growth and development. Don't look at this through the lens of politics. I just want to be as decent as politics. This is the introduction of politics, but this is the transformation of our country. Okay? With the same vigor and enthusiasm and tenacity of being able to speak about what happens at the Free National Movement when it comes time. Same thing in the PLP, and they know it. You all know it. I want to sit in the space of neutrality and talk about what is right for the country and do everything I can do to let y'all know we got to fight for our country. This foundation, guys, I want to thank you so very kindly for being able to be involved in this. Thank you so much for participation. We're going to see you tomorrow right here on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, The Foundation. Have a great day, guys.
Why settle for an ordinary burger when you can indulge in the new Farmhouse King at Burger King Nassau? Sink your teeth into 2 juicy flame-grilled beef patties piled high with crisp bacon, American cheese, crispy onions, a fried egg, and a spicy mayo sauce that adds bold flavor to every bite. Enjoy the new Farmhouse King as a combo with fries and a drink, or if you're feeling extra hungry, try the King's Feast, available exclusively at Burger King Nassau.
The Grand Bahama News is available every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian. You can buy your local paper at Freeport Convenience Stores, Western Bakery, De Gregory's Fine Foods, and Bellevue Gifts. Now is the time to reach your Grand Bahama